Good morning and welcome to UCAM with Sam Hansen and Shahan Jayasinghe.
As always, we'll be bringing you the latest news from both home and abroad, and with winter fast approaching, Mike Bailey has the latest weather.
Also coming up, we take a look back at the late Steve Jobs, innovator and Apple co-founder.
Plus, we get reaction from last night's Champions League football, and Welsh rugby international Gavin Henson's on the move again. Find out where later.
But first, here's the news stories you're waking up to this morning. Demonstrations against income inequality continue across the world and do not appear to be ending anytime soon. Our political editor Mike Bailey brings us the latest developments on the protests that are making global politicians take notice.
St Paul's Cathedral has been the centre of the latest anti-capitalist demonstrations in London. The protests, known as Occupy Wall Street, started in New York's Times Square on the 17th of September and have subsequently spread across 82 countries. The activists are determined to generate publicity towards their cause in an attempt to reshape the global economy.
What the banking sector has done to not only our country but on a global scale is such a big issue now. We need to protest against it. We can't just sit back and let daylight robbery be committed against our taxpayers and against the global community.
Though the London events have been largely peaceful, demonstrations elsewhere have led to high levels of tension and violence. More than 800 people have been arrested in New York since the protests began, and 100 people have been injured in Rome after 200,000 gathered in Italy's capital. Mike Bailey, UCAM.
Now to UK news, and a report has concluded that former Defence Secretary Liam Fox was warned on numerous occasions over his working relationship with Adam Werrity. Fox resigned from his cabinet post on Friday after revelations over his association with Werrity became public knowledge.
In motorsport, tributes have been pouring in for British IndyCar driver Dan Wheldon, who lost his life after a horrific crash in Las Vegas. Mike Bailey has the story.
Dan Wheldon was respected as one of the best IndyCar drivers of his generation, having won the prestigious Indy 500 race twice. But on Sunday, the British racer was involved in a 200-mile-an-hour crash at the Las Vegas Indy 300, which tragically ended his life.
Multiple cars involved.
Wheldon was competing for a $5 million prize when a 15-car crash took place, which saw several cars become airborne and catch fire. News of Wheldon's death reached the track 2 hours after the accident happened.
IndyCar is very sad to announce that Dan Wheldon has passed away from unsurvivable injury. Our thoughts and prayers are with his family today.
The remaining drivers took part in a 5-lap drive as a mark of respect to the 33-year-old, who was described by Formula One driver Lewis Hamilton as someone every racing driver looked up to with respect and admiration. Mike Bailey, UCAM.
We have some breaking news just reaching us here at UCAM. Police have moved into the Dale Farm Traveller site in Essex to evict residents. The news comes after a long-running legal battle, and we'll have the latest on the story on UCA News at noon.
Still to come though this morning, we see how Manchester United were handed victory in last night's Champions League.
Now, Steve Jobs was respected as the co-creator of one of the world's leading technology companies, Apple. His death early this month left many of his fans in shock. Jamie Rowe pays tribute to the great man.
Whether it's your mobile phone, your MP3 player, or your computer, Apple has changed the face of technology forever. On Sunday, the tech world said a sad goodbye to the man that revolutionized the brand in the 21st century. Steve Jobs was the co-founder, chairman, and CEO of Apple Inc., and his death at the age of 56, after a 7-year battle with pancreatic cancer, caused an outpouring of emotion from social networkers worldwide. Nick Grant on Facebook said, "Rest in peace, Steve Jobs, modern-day genius and innovator, providing us with products that have completely changed our culture and society." Darren Ravel on Twitter said, "Rest in peace, Steve Jobs. You left your mark on our desks, on our ears, and in our hands." Perhaps the most touching tribute came from friend and longtime rival Bill Gates, who said, "The world rarely sees someone who has had the profound impact Steve has had, the effects of which will be felt for many generations to come. For those of us lucky enough to get to work with him, it's been an insanely great honour. I will miss Steve immensely." Despite his untimely death, The legacy of the tech pioneer will continue to be felt across the world through his unique innovations. But for now, the world mourns the loss of Steve Jobs, visionary, businessman and loving father. Jamie Rowe, UCAM.
Football, Shahan, we had some interesting action in the Champions League last night.
Indeed we did. Both Manchester teams were in action, but it was City that stole the show, with a dramatic late win over Villarreal. Argentine striker Sergio Aguero sealing the unlikely victory with a 93rd minute strike. Boss Roberto Mancini said his side were lucky.
I hope to score in every second, but there was the last chance, and I think that in that moment we were lucky, because you need to be lucky to score in the last second.
And Shahan, what of their Manchester rivals?
Well, United travelled to Romanian minnows Otelul Galati. The Premier League champions laboured to a 2-0 victory with 2 Wayne Rooney penalties. Captain Nemanja Vidic saw red on his comeback to the team. Manager Sir Alex Ferguson felt his side lacked firepower.
And although we showed good patience, we never created anything new apart from a nanny shot. But we needed more penetration, and we played Rooney further up the field in the second half, and that made a difference.
So yesterday was all about Manchester, but today sees both London teams in action.
Arsenal face a trip to the south of France as they look to leapfrog Group F leaders Marseille. They will have to do so without defenders Kieran Gibbs, Thomas Vermaelen and Laurent Koscielny. Back on home soil, Chelsea welcome Belgian minnows Genk to Stamford Bridge. In-form English striker Dan Sturridge looks set to start in a 3-pronged forward line.
Now on to rugby, and Cardiff will soon have a new eligible bachelor on its streets. TV personality Gavin Henson has signed an 8-month contract with Cardiff Blues as he looks to rebuild his rugby career. That's all for our sport. Now Mike Bailey has a chilly look at the week's weather.
Thanks, Sam. It's been a cold start to the day with scattered showers in Wales and southern parts of England. Those showers will continue to move easterly over the course of the day and will also feature in regions of the north. By the afternoon, it will brighten up, but northwesterly winds mean temperatures will reach 10 or 11 degrees at the most. As a result of the wind chill factor, it will remain chilly throughout the day, and it's safe to say the weather has turned. And those sunny days we've experienced over the last couple of weeks are now a distant memory. Showers and windy conditions will continue through the night, and it's set to be a frosty start to the morning tomorrow. So it's time to get those car scrapers ready. For all your latest weather information, go to our website. That's all your UCAM weather. Back to you, Sam.
Now a quick recap of this morning's headlines. Occupy Wall Street protests continue across the globe, with St Paul's Cathedral in London being one of the latest locations to be targeted.
A report out today says that Liam Fox ignored several warnings over his working relationship with Adam Werrity.
British IndyCar driver Dan Weldon has been tragically killed in a crash in Las Vegas.
And it was a good night for Manchester in the Champions League yesterday, with both City and United claiming vital wins.
That's all from us here at UCAM. Tune in to UCA News at noon with Chantal Groshop, who will bring you the latest developments on the eviction of residents from Dale Farm travelling site in Essex.
We'll see you again tomorrow. Have a great day.
Goodbye.